Hello, this is my first video that I'm posting, and what I'm planning to do is talk about and review, in my own opinion, some books that I read. I read quite a bit lately, and so I thought I would share what my opinion was with you so that maybe you can decide for yourself if you want to read a book based upon my opinion. You need to take my opinion with a grain of salt. I may say something that you totally disagree with, and I may say something that you totally agree with, but it doesn't mean we're right. It's just my opinion, so try not to harass me and tell me that my opinion sucks and things like that, because it's an opinion. Everyone's entitled to it, and it doesn't mean it's right or wrong. So the first book I wanted to talk about is the Twilight series book. The first one, Twilight, by Stephenie Meyer. And the reason I want to talk about that one first is because I just saw the movie, and I just read the second book, New Moon. So the first book, to me, at the beginning was quite a bit slow. It reminded me of Harry Potter at the beginning of the first book, where you had to kind of get into it, trying to understand what it was that they're trying to tell you. Who is this girl, Bella, and she's going where, and why is she going there? So you need to push through it. If you're starting to read the book and you're like, I don't understand why everybody likes this book so much, push through, push through. Once she begins to go to school, it gets a far more interesting, believe me. It's a really fantastic read. It grabs you, you get into it, and you just can't put it down. That would be my opinion on Twilight. Now, I have this book here, New Moon, which I just finished today, and I have to say that this part of the book, can you see this middle part here with a lot of book? Boring. Very, very boring. I wasn't sure if I was going to make it through. The first part of the book, you're like, yeah, we're back to the, Edward and Bella and what they're doing, the excitement of the vampires. And you get into it, and Edward goes away, and you freak out, and you don't know what's happening, and it gets boring. If you read some reviews online, you'll see that there's some vampire action, and there's some werewolf action in this one. There's no werewolves that we know of in the first book, the Twilight book, but in this one, there's a lot of werewolf stuff, and it kind of drags on and on, like she's trying to go somewhere with it. Well, have no fear. Once Alice Cullen comes back, the book actually gets far better. So, you sort of have to push through, but I promise you it gets better at the end, and then it's going to leave you wanting more. I go to my local library, and I get these books, and lately they need to be on reserve, but I think I might have to go out and purchase them, all four, because now that I'm finished with this one, New Moon, I feel as though I just need to finish it up. And I would also now like to talk a little bit about the movie, Twilight. I saw it, and overall, very enjoyable film. The only thing I can say negative about it, really, is that the love of Edward and Bella comes about better in the book than it does in the movies. In the movies, it seemed very, very abrupt. Like, all of a sudden they didn't talk to each other, but then boom, they love each other. There was no awkward, let's talk to each other, not talk to each other, let's get along, not get along, play that there was in the book. So you kind of were like, whoa, you just started talking to this guy, but you love him all of a sudden? Kind of weird. It was kind of weird and awkward. But once you got over that, the whole rest of the film was great. There have been some reviews that people say it was lacking and things like that. Personally, I felt like it very much captured the feeling of the book. Yes, there were some things here and there that were added, taken away, changed a little bit from a book. When you adapt a movie, that's going to happen. But overall, very enjoyable. I would highly recommend it. Personally, I'm thinking about seeing it again. So, go out and read the books. Stephenie Meyer, check the spelling of her name on here. Stephenie. There's an E in Stephenie. Usually it's an A, so if you go to your local library and you're trying to look it up in the card catalog, don't get confused. I hope you enjoyed my first video on YouTube, and if you have any books that you'd like me to read and review, or any books that you think I might enjoy, please feel free. I plan to go through and talk about some more books that I've read already, and keep you updated on what I am reading, and maybe what I'm viewing as well, as I'm a big fan of going to the movies. Not necessarily movie buff, but I like to go and see them. Hope you enjoyed my video.